Welcome to Uflex USA, located in Sarasota, Florida. Today, we'll be installing trim tabs on a single outboard center console boat. This application is valid for all vessels using Uflex trim tabs. Details may change depending on make and model of your vessel. For additional information, please reference the installation manual. This installation has a moderate difficulty level and should take around 45 minutes to an hour on average. Measuring and marking the position of the plates. Trim tab plates are more effective when placed closer to the edge of the boat. Ideally, they can be placed between 1 and 4 inches away from the side of the hull. Once we identify the useful area, we want to verify that there will be space behind the transom to route the wire to the top part of the trim tab position. At this point, we can measure the width of the tab and trace 2 vertical lines to position the tab on the transom. Make sure that the tab is centered on the running strakes. A detailed diagram can be found in the installation manual. Measure 3/8 inches over the bottom of the transom and trace a line parallel to the bottom of the hole. Measure the height of the screw plate on the tabs. Measure the same height on top of the first line on the transom and draw a line parallel to the first one. Place the tab inside the lines and mark the position of the screws. As an alternative, once the side lines are traced on the transom, you can also draw the shape of the tab screw plate at the bottom of the short side of an 11 by 17 sheet of paper. Trace the center line of the plate and extend it till the top. Now trim the paper exceeding the drawing as shown. You can use this template by placing it on the transom, you will need 2 of them, aligning it to the footprint you previously traced on the hole, and use it to trace the holes for the tabs and make sure that the top of the actuator is traced on the center line. We are now ready to drill the holes for the tabs. Use a 5.5mm drill bit to drill the holes. Depth must be 32 millimeters. Apply 4200 or 5200 in the holes and mount the plates to the transom using the stainless steel screws supplied with the tabs. When all the screws are in place, apply a bead of sealant along the perimeter of the screw plate. Now, we can assemble the actuator to the plate using the bracket and hardware supplied. Make sure to respect the correct orientation of the brackets. The actuator comes already at fully retracted position. No further adjustment is needed before the installation of the upper bracket. We proceed to install the upper bracket on the actuator. Use the pin only as we will remove the bracket before the final assembly. In this phase, we are keeping the wire away from the bracket. Place the upper bracket on the transom and, with a ruler, flat against the bottom of the hole, measure the height of the rear edge of the tab. Follow the directions given in the manual for each tab size. This measurement will give us the installation height of the top bracket of the transom along the vertical line previously traced on the paper fixture. This way, we can mark the top of the bracket on the hole, remove the upper bracket from the actuator, and use it as a template to trace the holes on the transom. Now, we are ready to drill 3 5mm holes at least 25mm deep to fix the bracket. For the center hole, we will use a 10mm drill bit to allow space for the wiring harness. All is now set for the final assembly of the actuator to the transom. We will reinstall the upper bracket on the actuator, this time making sure we run the wire through the center hole of the bracket. At this time, we will route the wire through the transom hole and pull it through until the bracket is as close as possible to the transom. We can now seal the cable hole on the transom and the rear part of the bracket. Seal the screw holes using 4200 or 5200 sealant. Install the 3 screws supplied with the bracket and remove the sealant excess from the transom. Remember, allow the prescribed curing time to the sealant before putting the boat in the water. Before installing the joystick, we have to find the most appropriate position on the dash where it is within reach of the driver but does not interfere with the operation of other panels or controls already present. After, we can use the template included in the manual to mark the holes and cut off the dash using a 70mm hole saw. Place the joystick and align it with the notch pointing north. Install the 4 self-tapping screws and complete the installation with the front plate and the collar. Now, we are ready for wiring and connecting the system. Uflex offers 2 extension kits with 20 feet and 30 feet extensions. The kit includes Deutsch connectors that match the pins already crimped on the wires of the joystick and the tabs. First, we have to install the connectors on the wires. The red and black wire underneath the joystick are the main power supply, and the receptacle style connector goes on them. Always place the red wires on the position 1 of the connector. After that, we can place the plug style connectors on the black and red, white and red, black, green, and white and green wires. At this time, we are ready to connect the joystick to the actuators. The red, black, and white wires connect to the port actuator, and the green, black, and white wires connect to the starboard actuator. Connect the main power extension to 12 VDC power, making sure to add a 12 amp protection to the positive. Follow ABYC directions on how to properly connect the power supply on the boat. Uflex Trim Tab systems comes with an auto lineup function that automatically pulls up on the tabs either when the lever goes to neutral or when the ignition key is turned off. This function is optional. Please check the installation manual for details on how to enable it. Before going to the water, make sure that the tabs go down when you push the joystick towards the bow and that they retract when you pull the joystick towards the stern. When you push the joystick to the starboard side, the starboard tabs go up and the port tabs go down. Pushing the joystick to the port side, the port tabs go up and the starboard tabs go down. Congratulations! You can now use your Uflex joystick trim system. To complete the system installation, be sure to check out our other videos. For additional information, please reference the Uflex installation manual or check out our website.